Okay, now that we're really diving into the weeds here, we're going to be looking at the very micro side of SEO through the lens of Ahrefs, which are going to be the actual keywords themselves. How do we look at organic keywords in the organic keywords report? How do we understand exactly what's moving? How do we as an agency look at this through the lens of our clients, through the lens of Google, and help understand and extract the proper data techniques we should be using to scale this out? So let's take a look. We go here by clicking on organic keywords, and we're going to look here at one of our clients, Organic Muscle as well, continuing the trend from the previous lessons, but then also looking at bodybuilding.com as a major competitor to look at what they're doing and how we can incorporate that into our content plan, into our SEO strategy. So the big thing that we do with this, just like we did with Top Pages report, is look at growth over previous month, previous 3 months, or even previous week, to look at and understand what is working, what is garnering traffic, which, like we talked about, is an estimate based on your top positions. So if the keyword has a lot of volume, and let's say you're in, for example, here, the 6th position, they're going to assign some little piece of traffic. That is because even though at the snapshot in time, we were on position 6, which probably gets no clicks, that is an average position. Meaning that as Google is testing our rankings, they're going to slowly shoot us up to number 1 for like every 3 out of 100 visitors. And if we get a strong click-through rating there, then boom, we're going to keep moving up in rankings, which is what we're seeing here. So it's really, really important to note that once you get on page 1, a lot of it is about click-through rating. Google even has come out in some antitrust lawsuits where they had to release some slide decks saying that they do not actually understand the content on people's pages. They don't understand it. I mean, if you look at AI itself today, it doesn't really understand it either. It just is like a very fancy VLOOKUP function. It can categorize and understand a lot of data based on its repository. But the same thing with Google, right? They are basically understanding how useful and how helpful content is based on the user's interactions with the content. Are they clicking into that link, the link on Google? Are they clicking into it? Are they bouncing back to the search results to find more information? Or are they going into that link and then converting and buying or signing up or reading the page and then exiting their browser or closing the tab? All these are signals that Google is getting and gathering actively to better understand their users and ultimately to quantify if their content or the information is helpful or useful. And that's really, really important to talk about, to understand. So you can use all the SEO techniques to get on page 1, but if your website experience and your user experience in general is not good, then you're going to have a bad click-through rate. If you're not giving off those trustworthy signals, you're not going to be able to rank for page 1. That's exactly why we actually incorporate development into our SEO offering now as well. We've hired a full staff of developers to help us specifically do Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, literally everything. We have multiple very talented developers to help us build these bespoke user experiences and improve that trust factor, because that's how you really go from back of page 1 to page 1 for really hard keywords when you do not have that domain rating. You do it through trust factors. And so again, let's assume that if you're here today, you've already got that dialed in. But let's just look at this report to help us understand what's going on. I want to look at what's winning from previous months. So I'm going to go back to the filters. We love filters here at QCK. We're going to go to new keywords only. Let's just look at that. What are some new keywords we got this month? So of the 3,000, 1.5K are brand new. That's awesome. Love that. A lot of these are super long tail, and that's okay. Does pre-workout make you poop, for example, which is one of our blogs. Again, so and this, funny enough, this is literally word for word, and you can see it here, our exact URL. So that means 1 for 1, we sniped the keyword with keyword research, and we nailed it right out the gate. This page just got indexed. So not only did it get indexed, but it also showed up right on the cusp of page 1. It's still page 2, but it's right there. So that's exciting. That means that we hit the nail on the head. It means that also our SEO strategy, which we covered in all the previous lessons on how to build this content, is absolutely rock solid. So love to see that, but let's keep going. There's also the ones that we would really look at that we really want are these bangers. Cleanest protein powder, non-dairy protein powder, can pre-workout expire, and that one not so much, but definitely these. These are highly commercial, and of course, these are collections. And look at that, cleanest protein powder, not best non-dairy protein powder. Exactly, 1 for 1, the keywords we're targeting, we're getting. But here's the issue, we're on page 2. I want to be on page 1, and we can actually look at it here. You can see where it just popped up, got indexed. Let's actually look at like an improved one now. So now we're going to look at improved. So keywords that have improved month over month. So this is, again, still playing offense. If we're going to split it up like this is like the micro area of our like organic keyword strategy and looking at what's working and what isn't. We looked at the top pages, we looked at the site structure, we looked at all the other areas now, but now we're in the weeds, we're in the detail. So let's look at this for Shilajit versus Tomcat Ali. You can see where in the Spark chart where Google basically, they gave it to us whenever we first got it. They basically put us like basically in limbo, like a number 100 or something. And then by the time they finally ranked it on page 1, on page 2, in like July 9th. So we probably posted it around here, basically July 1st. It finally went up to 11 on page 2 in July 9th. And then ultimately, very slowly, as it's aging, again, remember, we did nothing to this page. We didn't add or change anything. This page is just aging like a fine wine in the cellar, like I talked about. It's aging rapidly, though, so that's exciting. So I love to see this, but then look at that. Then finally, August 25th, boom, we got it. It also occurred after the Google update, which is, again, another certification that everything we've done for this course is exactly what Google wants to see. It's exactly the right techniques, how we're writing it, how we're structuring this content, because, again, and it's kind of a no-brainer, we're writing this for the user. We're writing this for Google's end user, not for Google, not for anyone else, but for helpful content for helpful people. That's what they're looking for, and that's what's really, really critical. Again, this keyword is one that we've been going after for a while, organic pre-workout in general. You can even see here the different colors. It's a little bit of keyword cannibalization we have going on here. So that's actually pretty important to note. It happened here with actually organic pre-workout, the collection page itself. Then Google continues to rank the product and then dropped off the collection page. So let me just look at this collection page, because what we can learn here is pretty clear that Google doesn't want to rank the collection page. So to be honest, we should probably kill this collection page and redirect this URL back to this product. Let's see if how this page is doing overall, actually, because you can actually look at independent pages. And just like that, Google is kind of removing traffic from it, and they're not super stoked about it. So probably what we need to do is probably kill this page or revitalize this page with new, fresh content and give it like a fresh coat of paint, basically. And if we give it the fresh coat of paint, then we could actually see it pop up. At the end of the day, for this product, it actually makes sense to have the product page rank, not the collection. But it doesn't matter because we just need to make sure we remove keyword cannibalization. Pretty critical. But again, to do this though, we want to give Google the buffet, the chicken and the steak, basically, and let them choose. We gave them the product page and the collection page. They chose, they wanted a little bit of the collection, but then they chose the product page. So now we're going to remove the collection page and give it all to the product page, because that's what Google wants. They told us they're a medium well steak guy, so we're going to give it to them. And that's the art of this. We're testing all these different parts within our content plan, within the content we produce, but ultimately by looking at the metrics here. So really critical. So that was important to look at, the improved keywords as well, and kind of get an idea of what's moving up. Again, long tail keywords are our friend. If you are a smaller brand, a newer company, if you have a domain rating below 30, the long tail keywords are where you're going to live and die. If you have a big, massive brand, then go for the big boys more often than not, the big keywords, the big nameplate ones. But you better believe that you can also earn a fortune just by going for these long tail as well. So important to note. Let's look at defense though. We got to look at ones that were lost and declined. Let's take a look at that. So pretty critical. So clean workout. Ooh, it went down by 1. I want that keyword. Also natural pre-workout. What's going on with that? So this looks like some keyword cannibalization. So we have 2 different pages here. The pre-workout recipe versus the natural pre-workout itself. So kind of interesting. Yeah, but I need to keep seeing this play out to make a call there. This is still pretty fresh. If natural pre-workout goes to 1, because still at this point, actually, the collection itself was at 12 back here, which is way higher than 18 right now. So if we see this go higher than 12, then we should basically remove natural pre-workout and only use that recipe page. But again, there's an art to this, and we have to kind of let Google cook a little bit, because a lot of these movements could be short term. We need to see overall general trends to know what we're doing here. Like this is a classic one. Google obviously, again, for pre-workout wants to rank the pre-workout page, but if we gave them a better collection, you can see where almost immediately it's just kind of shooting up to the very top. I have a theory that this collection page is actually going to outrank that product page, because again, it's 1 keyword per page. So probably the product page we should rank for organic pre-workout, because it's organic muscle. That's the website. So we want to mostly focus that keyword there on the product, but then for the collection, really nail these different long tail versions. Basically, how to equate this is that Google's still eating from the buffet. It's not very clear yet if they want the medium well steak or if they just really like their fried chicken. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out, and that's when we're going to optimize it. But for right now, this is just part of the whole deal. We just want to look at this and watch and just observe. So we could definitely play defense on a couple pages here, though. It's like let's look at some maybe some other ones here. Some ones we completely lost. So that one, organic vanilla protein powder. That one we lost entirely. It was a decent keyword, and we had it for a while. So what does that mean? It looks like we should probably just go back in and optimize this page. So that would basically be us going in and adding in all the FAQs, or it looks like we actually have way too many on here. So I don't know when or how this happened, but that's part of the problem. We got to clean that up. So if we basically clean this up, then this is going to be a much more effective product. It looks like most likely, or a much more effective page to rank. It looks like most likely Google is just like, this looks spammy. It feels spammy. So then Google is basically dinging this page because of that. So it's another optimization we can make. So you can learn so much by looking at these organic keywords. It's really critical and just understanding it to get an idea of what's going on. And you can filter these bad boys. So non-stem pre-workout, we lost that one and I really wanted that one. So we should definitely take a look at this. I think this is because we have a blog about it and we have a collection page about it. So really important. Also, it looks like, really important. So I think probably what's going on here is the collection should be ranking, but the blog kind of took it for a little bit. So this is another case of the buffet. We need to let this cook a little bit longer, but most likely we should probably kill the blog and forward the blog to the collection page to help this move. But really interesting. So you can look at all this stuff to kind of get a pretty good idea, but you can get lost in this. So that's why I would definitely focus more on the offense than the defense. So by that I mean you look at for defense for like the lost and decline keywords, mostly for the ones that are nameplate that your client or yourself really, really wants to have. Whereas you want to look at the new and improved keywords and play offense more because you're gonna score more touchdowns that way. So it's really, really critical. So that's why you really got to focus on the winners and keep making them better by building out more and more pages. Really, really critical. So now let's look at bodybuilding.com to get a better understanding of their keywords and what's working for them. So the first thing I see, again, went to overview, then we just go to organic keywords. I'm not changing anything here, but like just look at these keywords here. Bodybuilding, obviously bodybuilding.com, kind of a no-brainer. Of course, they're going to rank for that, but these are bangers. Calorie calculator, macro calculator. These are two awesome little calculators that we could build for our client with limited development that can actually be extremely valuable and also become link magnets. That's going to help our client get a lot more backlinks and increase that domain rating. So this is something that we should definitely have. And do they have a lot of copy on here? They do. They do have quite a bit of copy actually. So that's awesome. So that's boom. So literally just by clicking on organic keywords, we found 2 new techniques we could easily do. We could even test this by just writing a blog about calorie calculators and seeing if it ranks. And if it does, then guess what? It's definitely worth, and if it ranks and we get traffic, it's definitely worth the resources to create the page, the actual calorie calculator, to pay a company like ourselves to build this, design this, and put it in your store to ultimately add extra value to the user experience. And then we would kill that blog and redirect it to the new page we just created with this tool. So really awesome. Just like that, we found 2 amazing keywords right there. Back workout, like we talked about, it's coming from the blog. So we've already covered this strategy, but important to note. And you can do the same thing, but because we know there was a huge Google update, again, about a month ago. We're going to look at their new and improved positions from that update and look at kind of what they're doing right and what is working. How much creatine should I take? Banger keyword. Best tricep exercise, also banger. Low difficulty, high volume. Low difficulty, lower difficulty, high volume. But like this is perfect. And this also, funny enough, is going to the creatine calculator. So they also have a creatine calculator. My God. We need to do this. It looks like it's probably built off the same thing. It's pretty straightforward. So let's give this a shot here and see what's happening. Look at that. That's so easy. We can make this. And we're going to make this. And this is how we can ultimately extract strategies from competitors and understand how we can rank for these keywords. Again, we do this for one competitor. Think if you do this for 5 or 10, you can leverage their budget and not yours to produce the perfect user experience based content and pages to help make you rank better and better. Why? Not because you're optimizing for Google like all other SEO agencies and companies, because you're optimizing for the user, your customer. It's a no-brainer. This is what's going to take you to the next level, and looking at things like this is going to help you understand what's working from your content plan and what isn't. It's going to help you dial it in further and further until every single month you're just absolutely ripping the content and getting more and more and more, like a lot of our clients. For example, I'm going to show you this one here, getsold.com. We're doing over 50 pages a month for them, and they're absolutely crushing it. But like, look at this. This is a massive website. They have a huge domain rating of 48. So the same techniques can be applied on the big sites as it can the small sites. But it's all about scale. It's all about doing the right types of content and scaling the right types of strategies. For example, I saw a crazy opportunity to even run Spanish keywords off of a US-based page, because Spanish keywords in the US have actually quite a low difficulty, but they have the same intent. So this keyword in particular was for CBD gummies, but basically pulling out the Spanish keywords and actually starting to rank for them, like gomitas de marihuanas. Look at that, 0 difficulty, 3.3K, and we're basically coming in on 3. We probably need to optimize it. Looks like it went down the past month, but still, that's amazing. This was just an idea, and I was able to immediately put it into action because of something I saw while looking at a competitor. This is the type of information you can gain by doing the research here, by not only understanding where you're moving the needle, how you're moving the needle based on your content plan, and like we talked about, even going back and looking at, of course, your top pages and looking at the new pages, the ones that are doing very well, but also understanding, that you're moving everything in the right direction. And so not only going and looking at your content plan and how it's getting better and better every single month, but also looking at the competitors and understanding what we can build for your website, for our clients, for whoever you're working with, to basically provide a much better user experience for their consumers. And you can see it right here. We can see exactly what's working better. And so by using all these different reports in this tool, you can unlock endless possibilities. And this is how any brand at any level, at any budget, can rank themselves, can scale it, and can really perform incredible feats of traffic acquisition. That is an investment in your site, because you're planting these seeds, and all these little pages are going to keep growing and growing, and then produce that monthly recurring revenue that is so beautiful. So awesome, guys. Hope you got a lot out of this. We may have a recap lesson here coming up, but overall, I think this pretty much wraps it up. So use Ahrefs to ultimately understand and analyze all your different reports, to understand what's working, what isn't, to really kind of move to the next level. But it's been an amazing journey, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me through this entire course. So talk soon.